Good afternoon, Mr. Vance.
Good afternoon, board, and thank you.
Okay. Mr. Vance, would you give us your full name and your Department of Corrections ID?
Randolph Vance, 123883.
Thank you, Mr. Vance. My name is Alvin Roche. To my left is Mr. Pete Freeman. To my right is Mrs. Bonnie Jackson.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me explain the process to you. I will read some information into the record. Once that information in the record, we'll conduct a parole interview with you. You have a team of supporters with you today. I'm going to ask the people at Louisiana State Penitentiary to introduce themselves, starting with the young man in the black shirt.
Man.
Would you introduce yourself and give your relationship to the offender?
Brandon Vance, I'm his son.
Go ahead and the name.
Yes, ma'am.
Melinda Jacobs, his ex-wife.
Okay.
Ashley Prater, I'm his daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Danielle King, I'm his niece.
What's the relationship?
Your relationship to
I
Ms.
said niece.
Niece?
Niece, okay. Young man,
I'm cool. My friend here.
okay. And yes, ma'am.
College Pool, a friend.
Okay, fine. Besides the ones at Louisiana State Penitentiary, we have Mr. Karen Myers of the Louisiana Parole Project and would like to make comments. And Mr. Andrew Huntley is here. If Andrew's not here, Mr. Myers, okay. Mr. Joseph Lennox, a friend. Miss Pamela Young, sister. Miss Sinell Jones, a niece. Miss Ursula Vance, a niece. Miss Tamika Vance, a niece. And Kelly Fields, a niece. All will not be speaking. And we have Miss Frida Vance, a sister, who, if we get online, would like to make a statement. Is Ms. Vance on Zoom? Ms. Vance? Is she, okay. If Ms. Vance connects with the Zoom, we will give her a chance to make her statement. In opposition, we have Mr. In opposition, we have Mr. Randall Myers of the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office. He's an assistant DA, and he would like to make a statement in opposition to early release. After all the statements are made, Mr. Vance, we'll allow you to make a statement on your behalf before we vote. Do you understand the process?
Yes, sir, I do.
Mr. Vance, you're currently 60 years old, is that correct?
Correct.
And you are a third felony offender. Your offense is armed robbery. You were sentenced to 75 years in Jefferson Parish on May 11, 2005. Your parole date is December 30th, 2023. Your good time adjusted date is January 4th, 2078. And your good time date is 12/29/2078. Is all this information correct?
Yes, sir.
And you've been incarcerated for about 20 years right now, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you please answer Mr. Freeman's questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Vance, Exactly how long have you served on this sentence?
19 years and 10 months.
Okay. What's your educational level?
I got a GED here in Angola.
Okay, good. You're convicted of armed robbery. You robbed a bank once. What was going on in your life at that time? Why did you feel you had to go rob that bank?
Yes, sir. It was a bad time. I had gotten into gambling real bad and got way behind on my house note and just thought robbing the bank was the answer to my problem.
You had any drug, alcohol problem?
No, sir.
Mr. Vance, I've seen you've been on supervised probation twice. Both of them have been revoked. I mean, why should I believe it's gonna be any different this time? Why should I believe that you've all of a sudden changed and you're gonna listen to the rules and regulations?
Yes, sir. The change hasn't been all of a sudden. I mean, it's been almost 20 years, and a lot of the courses that I've taken here, especially the victim awareness course, it just makes me realize the impact that crime has on everyone, not just myself, but on everyone involved.
Okay. You have a very lengthy criminal history. I asked you about a couple of them that they didn't. You have 3 felony convictions. What's your other 2 convictions for?
Simple possession and simple robbery.
Simple robbery. Was the simple robbery or armed robbery reduced or not?
It was the verdict came back simple robbery.
Okay, did you have a weapon?
No, sir.
Then you got found guilty of this armed robbery. Possession of cocaine, that's probably the simple. Not on the state police rap sheet, but in 1996, you had an armed robbery charge. What was that about?
1996, that was in Orleans Parish.
Okay, what happened? What they claim you do?
So I got found not guilty.
2003, you had an attempted first-degree murder. What was that about?
That was in connection with this present charge.
Well, tell me exactly what happened in this present. Oh, okay. So basically, you robbed the bank. A man followed you to get your license and stuff, and you shot at his vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Were you shooting at the man, or you were shooting at the car?
No, sir. I was shooting at the vehicle, at the tire.
You do have opposition from the victim in this case. I see you have 2 children. Do you have contact with these children?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have contact on a regular basis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Classes, you've been in 20 years, but you haven't taken a lot of classes. You took victim awareness. What did you learn from victim awareness?
Well, the biggest thing that I've learned is the ripple effect of crime.
And what is the ripple effect of crime?
That crime, it not only affects you, it affects the victim, the community, your family.
I see you took living in balance. What did you get out of living in balance?
The most important thing I got out of living in balance was the living imbalance part, that you just have to be transparent with yourself, and you just don't go off the deep end. You just
and anger management. What about anger management? What you get out of anger management?
And anger management is the one that helps you just know what things that it is that provokes you to anger. And you have to recognize what your triggers are.
Okay. What would you say to the victim if you had a chance to speak to him?
I would say to the victim that it was a bad time. It was a sin. I just decided to and just did this senseless crime. It wasn't something that I had to do because the hole that I had gotten myself in, I could have worked my way out of that hole in 101 different ways. And that I truly regret involving any innocent citizens in my mess.
Okay. I see you have not a lot. You had 5 write-ups. You have 1 and 2 out 2018 for a 30U. What is a 30U?
I was making wood stain in a butt can. It's a mixture of tar and mineral spirits, and you have to heat it up in order to melt the tar to make the stain. The can bubbled over, and it put some soot on one of the buildings.
Right. You got a lot of letters of family support. What kind of community service have you done while you've been at Angola?
Well,
And what kind of club you belong to?
I'm a Jehovah's Witness, so every Saturday I go out at least 1 hour every Saturday, and other days weather permitting, and I've been doing that since I've been up here. Go out and preach in the ministry.
Ward, what kind of comments you have to make?
Like you said, he's had 5 write-ups. The last write-up was him trying to make some stain. Other than that, he's been working in refrigeration for us as a Class A trustee since 2016. Had no problems.
Since 2016, he's been working?
Working specifically in refrigeration. Prior to that,
Right.
working in the maintenance crews and different things such as that.
Takes a little skill to work in refrigeration, all right? Okay.
More than I have, sir.
And both of them. Okay, thank you, Warden. I have no further questions.
Mrs. Jackson.
Mr. Franklin, you said that the
Vance.
Vance, I'm sorry, you said the robbery was because of a gambling issue.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
When did you start gambling, and what kind of gambling were you doing?
I was gambling in the casinos, playing blackjack, poker, the video slot machines in the casinos.
When do you think you got addicted?
Well, it got real bad, ma'am, probably around 2000 when it got real bad.
So what have you taken that, gambling is an addiction just like drugs or alcohol. What kind
Yes,
of
ma'am.
programs have you taken to address addictive behavior?
Well, I try to apply the victim awareness, the substance abuse, the anger management. They didn't have a program specifically for gambling, but if I'm granted parole, I'm going to enter Gamblers Anonymous just to be on the safe side. I haven't gambled since I've been here.
Do you think you're still a gambling addict?
I probably am, ma'am. Even though I haven't in 20 years, I would err on the side of caution.
So obviously you wouldn't be going to any casinos.
No, ma'am.
Well, the world has changed now. And there's a whole lot of sports betting that's available. You can actually make bets on your phone. You can bet on whole games. You can bet on parts of. And so the opportunities to gamble have just exploded over the last 19 or so years.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
So what safeguards will you put into place to make sure you don't fall victim?
Is
To
I
the
would enter Gamblers Anonymous as soon as I can upon release. And I have the support system of my family. So, and as I said, Ms. Jackson, I haven't gambled on anything in 20 years since I've been here.
And what city did you live in?
In Harvey,
And they had, where were you gambling? Where were you going to the casino?
anywhere. I used to go to the casinos, or the one in New Orleans, the land-based casino, or the
Mhm.
riverboat casinos, or video poker stops.
That's all I have.
Mr. Vance,
Yes, sir.
I'm not convinced yet. And I will give you a chance to convince me.
Yes, sir.
You've been on supervision on 2 occasions. You revoked both occasions. And we're just about to put you on parole supervision with 55 years left on your sentence. You say that you got behind on your mortgage note and your bills weren't paid because you were gambling. So you went out and robbed the bank.
Yes, sir.
Life is full of pinholes and setbacks. What's to stop you from going out again and committing another robbery or selling cocaine? Because I see 2 or 3 arrests on your rap sheet for possession of cocaine. Simple damage to property, theft for stolen property, armed robbery. So convince me that you're ready, because you have not done well on supervision.
Mr. Roche, I've been rehabilitating myself over the past 19 years and 10 months. In being incarcerated that length of time, I couldn't watch my kids. My boy was 11 making 12, my daughter was 16 making 17, and now they're full-grown adults now. My wife is now my ex-wife, and I understand fully the magnitude of the crimes that I committed, sir. I understand fully you people giving me the opportunity in order to go back out there, because I have 75 flat years. I would die here in prison. And I guarantee you, Mr. Roche, that I would not mess that up in the least. That's something that I would not do.
Mr. Vance,
Yes,
you
sir.
can't go near a casino. You can't gamble. These are general conditions of any parole. You can't take a drink.
Yes, sir.
You just can't do anything that an ordinary person would do and would consider to be anything that's illegal.
Yes, sir. I understand.
So tell me, why I should release you with that kind of record. What has changed since the last time you made a crime on supervision and was revoked?
Well, the biggest thing that's changed is I'm 60 years old, Mr. Roche. And it took a while, but I've grown up, honestly. And I've been doing the right things here for 20 years, and I'm going to continue to do what's right.
Yeah, when did the light go off? What event? What program? What conversation with a loved one started to turn around and you changed your way of thinking?
The biggest thing, Mr. Roche, I went to the technical college here and I got a degree in graphic communications. And every morning we would have a 10-minute discussion. And the instructor name was Mr. Joseph Patrick. And he would beat in my head, he would say all the time that your rights end where the next person's rights start. And I never really thought about it that way. But if I go out and commit a crime, I'm infringing on the rights of others, no matter what's going on with me. And when I really started to think about that and meditate on that, Mr. Roche, then I really started to do things differently.
I have another way of saying the same thing. My right to swing my arm extends to touching your nose. Once I touch you, I violate your rights. So
Yes, sir.
the easiest way to say it is stay within your space and you'll be all right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions? Mr. Caramiles, Louisiana Parole Project.
Hi, good afternoon, Kerry Myers with the Louisiana Parole Project. You heard what Doc would say. Mr. Vance has been trustee now for a number of years, working in refrigeration. He worked in maintenance before that. He's highly trusted to do those jobs. He's also 60 years old. He said that himself. I think that very obvious that you look at him now and say that his gambling addiction is something that he recognizes, something he's just told the board. He knows he needs to seek gambling anonymous when he's released, not just as a general condition, but something that he recognizes. But he started the basis for addictive behavior when he started taking the program, saying, "Oh, living in balance." It's not just about substance abuse; it's about general addictive behavior. So he understands the premise of it, which is the reason he understands he needs to address this when he's released. Also, at 60 years old, he's tired. He's tired of the life that he had. He's got an extremely supportive family. He's got a Parole Project to help him through the addiction transition and all the complementary services that we have. I just believe that Mr. Vance had enough of where he's been and that he's ready. And so Parole Project would ask today that you grant his parole or any condition.
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Myers.
Mr. Myers, is he gonna go stay with y'all for a little while or? Okay. No, I know.
Maybe in rather than swap and sit,
Got it.
At this time, do we hear Ms. Frida Vance? Ms. Frida Vance, would you please open your mic and give us your full name, your relationship to the offender, and give us your statement?
Yes, my name is Frida Vance. Randolph is my brother.
Give us your statement.
He's my brother. I love him. And I just feel like he is a changed person from the young man I knew when he went in there. Now he's totally different, you know. And I do believe that he is rehabilitated in my heart, you know, from what he used to be. And I feel like if y'all grant him this privilege of parole, that he will live the right way, and not do anything that he's not supposed to do. I feel that from talking to him, that he's a different person than what he used to be.
Thank you, Ms. Vance.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's hear from Ashley Prater, his daughter.
Hi. I'm Ashley Prater. I'm Mr. Vance's daughter. At first, I want to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity. I know my dad doesn't take it lightly, and we sure don't take it lightly. The last 20 years have been eye-opening. It's been something that I never want anyone else to experience. My dad was one of my best friends. I was 16, going on 17. It was just starting my senior year of college. He had just come to my ring ceremony and this happened. It devastated me. And he will tell you, it took years for me to come around and to not be angry with him anymore for making just stupid decisions. And as you know, board, he's made a ton of them, and his family has been the brunt of this. And I was the first one to tell him and to want him to feel the way that we felt. And it took me probably 10 years into his sentence and me becoming, in my professional career, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, not to just look at him as my dad, because as my dad, he's my superhero, and my superhero make a mistake. And normally superheroes don't do that. I started to look at him as a human. And I realized that he is a man amongst men to me, but he's still a man, and he has made those mistakes. And he tells me every single time that I talk to him twice a week, faithfully, how sorry he is, how apologetic he is. And he knows that he has hurt his family tremendously, and how he would never, ever put himself in that situation. And just like the Louisiana Parole Project, like they said, he's 60 years old now, he's tired. And he has the support of all of us on Zoom, and all of us here, and even some more of us that just couldn't make it, that we are gonna support him physically, spiritually, financially, to make sure he's on the straight and narrow. And he knows that I don't play. And I just want the opportunity. I've grown. Like he said, I was 17. I'm 36 now. I'll be 37 this year. I bought a house. I have a child. I've gotten married, and he's missed all of that. And I just want his later years to be greater. And I want him to learn from this. And I don't want him to take this opportunity that you've afforded him for granted. I know that he doesn't. We don't. And we thank you for it.
Ms. Prater, you are a very wise young lady.
Thank you.
Mr. Brandon, would you like to make a statement on behalf of your father?
Just a short one. Just like my sister said, I was 11 going on 12 years old when my dad did go in. Just like her, it took me a while to forgive him. It took me a while to even talk to him. They tried to keep me out of the loop a lot of times because I was so young when it happened. And mainly because, just like she said, you see your parents as sort of bigger than life, as far as like being that person you look up to. You want to be just like them. You never can think that they could ever do anything wrong. And I remember having friends around that time. My dad was never a person that was out of my life. He was somebody I really looked up to and was really special to me. And all of my family, friends also knew that. So when it happened, it was sort of a shock. And a lot of my friends were always looking around, like, where's your dad? Or what happened? Or like, how come he's not around anymore? So it was sort of a big time in my life and all of our lives. And I had to learn to do a lot of things as a man and as a person without him. And learning that over the past about 20 years or so, I realized just how hard it is to go without your father and just how different life is, especially for the people around you. You see them going through the same things as you, and you're seeing them experiencing different things that you should be experiencing with your father as well. After speaking with him, especially lately, the past couple of years, me and him didn't speak so much as far as what he did, just because I kind of wanted to keep that part out of me and just didn't want to talk about it. But after some years have gone by, he's opened up more to me. And the past about 7 years or so, I've been able to hear him out and actually listen to the problems that he's had, understand his struggles, and he understands my struggles. And I know with talking to him now and for the past about 7 years or so, his remorse of just missing out on things in my life, my sister's life, my mom's life, all of our family, it's tremendous. And it's something he knows he cannot get back. But in the future, I want to make things better, and I want to spend that time with him that I missed for so long. I've spent more years without my father than with my father. Like I said, I was about 11, 12 years old. So, and I'm 31 now, going on 32. I want to experience the rest of my life with him, and I know he wants to do the same.
Thank you, Mr. Vance. Ms. Belinda, Randolph, you should be very proud. Your two children, and then you're very proud.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Vance,
Yes, sir.
before we get your closing statement, we want to hear from Mr. Randall Meyer, the Assistant District Attorney in Jefferson Parish. Mr. Meyer.
Good afternoon, Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. It appears that Mr. Vance has some pretty outstanding family support, which is a good thing for him. I think that'll be helpful if and when he does get out. We're opposed, though, at this time. There's victim opposition, and the victim has requested, if he would be granted, that he be ordered no contact with any of the victims or their family. Other concerns that I have is a poor supervision record. And he had 3 other armed robbery arrests. One resulted in a conviction of simple robbery. And he said drugs were not an issue, but he does have that possession of cocaine with a conviction for possession of cocaine on his record. The limited programming, and particularly with regard to addictive things, concerns me. Gambling is a highly addictive issue that really plagues a lot of people and can plague anybody. I mean, anybody and everybody that can happen to. So that really concerns me. And finally, I don't see an employment agreement in the file. It would be good. I think it sounds like he has a few skills that he could use to get a job, but without a job and employment agreement, that would concern me as well. So for those reasons, we're opposed.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Mr. Vance,
Yes, sir.
would you like to give us a brief closing statement?
So once again, I want to thank the board for this opportunity. I don't take this lightly. And if I'm released, I guarantee the board that you never have to worry about me as far as committing crime or doing anything that I'm not supposed to do.
Thank you, Mr. Vance. Is the panel ready to vote? Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Vance, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had the same concerns as Mr. Myers. Your supervision record, you've had a lengthy criminal record. But then I listened to you and I listened to your family, and I'm hopeful for you. So I'm gonna vote to grant today. And I'm gonna vote to grant. And I'm gonna ask the Parole Project to find him a place to go to, Gambling Anonymous. I want a drug evaluation, which I think y'all do to everyone that comes in. Because let's see if you have a drug problem. If you do, you know, you need to fess up, tell truth during that evaluation, because gambling and drugs together are real bad. I mean, I don't, you know, you put that combination together and it's legal. So, no bars. Because they got video poker. Everywhere you turn, there's gonna be video poker. But I want to keep you out the bars, keep you out the casinos, keep you out the truck stops. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mrs. Jackson.
All right. Mr. Vance, I was impressed by your energy today. I think you gave very honest answers, and you had a good insight into why you're here at this point in time. But you've done very well over the last 20 years. That positive remarks from the family, from the warden. You have really good family support. You have a good transition plan with the Louisiana Parole Project. So my vote today would be to grant your early release and add a condition of your supervision that you attend at least 2 Gamblers Anonymous meetings per week.
Thank you.
Mr. Banks.
Yes, sir.
And then there's me. I think I'm convinced. I'm convinced that you're tired, that you're ready to follow the rules and regulations, and lean on the support of your loving family.
Yes, sir.
You
Thank
have a clinical psychologist or sociologist, and she can help you.
Yes, sir.
Just lean on your family, and when the power of life hits you, and it will, it hits everybody. Lean on your family. Go to Gamblers Anonymous, and then get a good sponsor.
Yes, sir.
My vote is to grant.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Roche. Thank you.
You have received 3 votes to grant your request. You have conditions. You must attend at least 2 Gamblers Anonymous meetings a week.
Yes,
You have
sir.
You have a curfew from 9 to 6, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I want you to do some community service. I want you to give back to the community. Get with your pastor, get with your parole officer. He can supply avenues in which you can volunteer and help, especially with at-risk youth.
Yes, sir.
The young people today need to hear your story so they can go in the other direction.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck, and your early release has been granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.